Hi, welcome back to my channel and for another episode of a DIY. I just want to come to you guys, as my title says, that I combine my locks. I just finished the process yesterday. I just want to share with you guys what I learned from combining my locks. But first, I want to give a shout out to all the YouTubers who put videos out there about how to combine locks, because if you did a video, I watched it. The number one YouTuber that I watched was Smileywitdalocs. She had the best videos and the most, best updates. So I really appreciate your videos, Smileywitdalocs. I also got a tip from DynamicRunner, Miss Dewdrops. I use her technique to get me started. And last but not least is Nerdii Lioness. I just got wind of her video yesterday and I used her technique to finish off combining my locks. So, to get started, here we go. This is the finished product. There you go. Can you see the pattern? 2-strand twist method is what I used. So, the tips that I discovered while doing my locks, the first and foremost is you should decide if you want parts, if your parts are important to you. So what I did was I made sure I had a part in the center of my head and on these two sides right here, because I want to be able to style my hair, put my hair to the side or to the center, versatility. Let's see, that was the first thing before I started combining my locks. And then the back, I could care less what my parts look like in the back. It's just the front I want to be nice. Secondly, what I did was I divided my parts. I did every 2 locks, and what I did was I interlocked at the base. So I just, every 2 locks, I interlocked. And some of them I needed to do 2 or 3. Basically, it depended on how thick my locks were. So the real thin ones, I had to do 3, sometimes 4. But mostly every 2 locks, I just combined them at the base. I did the interlock method from Dewdrops, also known as a dynamic runner. And and I just let my hair go. I just, for a couple of weeks, I just went about my business styling my hair. And when I was ready, then it was time for me to do the 2-strand twist. So by then I knew I was going to do 2-strand twist. So what I did was a 2-strand twist all over my head. And I secured all of my ends with a rubber band to hold it temporarily, because I knew I was not going to leave rubber bands at the end of my hair. Just was not going to do that. So I did that, and I wore my hair with rubber bands on the ends for about a couple of days, and then I was ready to complete combining my locks. And what I did then was I got some thread. This is the thread that you get from Sally's for weaves. And then I have a needle here. Now this needle is different because it's not one of those sharp needles. It's one of the blunt needles. You want a blunt needle that doesn't stick you. So what I did was I would take the rubber band off of each end, and then I used a needle and thread, and I secured the ends of all of my locks. And I just did that whole, so I did it in stages. So I did that, and so I left that for a day. And then I came across Nerdii Lioness, and she showed how to fix the ends of your locks, because after I had combined them all with sewn them up with the thread, I had some locks that clearly were longer. You know, they didn't quite match, and I was trying to figure out, well, darn, what do I do? You know, do I cut them, you know, or just let them grow out, whatever. But her video showed where what she did was she took the lock and folded it over and then sewed it. No, actually, no, she didn't sew it. She used a crochet hook, because how she combined her locks, she used a crochet hook and combined all of her locks. And I wasn't going to do that. That is just takes too much time. As well as sewing, because I know some people when they combine their locks, they sew it all the way down. I wasn't doing that either. That's just too much time, which is why I chose to tie mine at the end with thread. So get back to what I was talking about. I did the Nerdii Lioness method, and I'm going to show you what I did. I did save a lock here. Yeah, here we go. And see, I put a rubber band on it so you can see that one of the it's not perfectly long. They're not the same length. I mean, so one is longer. This is the longest, and it stops right here. That's where the shortest one is. So what she did was she bent the lock in half like that, and then she got her crochet hook, and then she just combined the locks like that. Well, I didn't want to do that, so I got my needle and thread, and I just sewed the end like that, in and out. You put a knot on the end of the thread, and I just sewed it in and out like that. Boom. You can't see that, but yeah, that's all I did. Just sewed it in and out like that, and then I just twisted it around like this and secured it at the top, just doing needle and thread. And I actually like that method, because what it did, no, I'm not gonna finish this on camera, but what it did was I did all of my locks like that, because you know, very few of them were the same length. But what it did, it gave all of my locks a nice blunted end. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, all of my locks have really nice blunted end. Looks nice and thick, like they're like the mature locks. So I like that method. So if you have ends that are looking funky, that's probably a good thing to do. If you can, just fold it over and sew it really tight. The thing I like about sewing is that you can pull it really tight and to compress it. So that's what I like about that method. So that's it. I'm really liking the combined locks. Now the question is, why did I decide to combine my locks? Well, I was on YouTube and I was came across these videos on ladies who had lost their edges, you know, and I'm like, whoa, you know, I'm up there in age and my hormones aren't working like they used to. And one of the side effects of, you know, low hormones is thinning hair. So I'm looking at my edges and I'm like, oh, I can't have that. So I knew that I needed to strengthen my locks. So I decided, well, let me go ahead and combine my hairline, which is what I did, and just let them grow out and no more interlocking really tight. So as you can see, I've got nappy edges. That's my new thing. Nappy edges. Nappy edges are happy edges. You know, no pulling, so I'm not going bald. But since I've allowed my edges to grow out and no more pulling, and I combine my locks, they're a lot fuller now than they have been. So nappy edges is the way to go for me. I like the look. But also too, another reason that I decided to combine my locks was that some of them had gotten really thin, because the older your locks are, the longer they get, they weigh on your hair. And some of them get, you know, they get compact, you know, they get really tight and they get really thin. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and combine my locks so that they can get stronger and thicker, and you know, so that I could just have stronger locks. So that is the final reason why I decided to combine my locks. So also that's what I did, and I am really loving it. So now I'm walking around with a head full of 2-strand twists. Hey. Yeah, so I'll probably do an update like in 3 months, 6 months to show you guys, you know, it combining. Oh, another thing I got from watching someone else's video about brushing your locks, you know, to help them, you know, come together. So actually I like doing that. So that's it. I hope that has helped you out. But let me just go over real quickly. When you decide to combine your locks, first you want to decide if you want parts. If the parts are important for you, you want to interlock at the base, and then you want to secure. You want to do this 2-strand twist and secure at the ends or sew all the way down, and then clean up your ends. You want nice ends after you combine your locks. So I hope that all helps you all out. If you have any questions, leave a comment, like the video, and share. Thanks.